Hello people and welcome to Season 5. We are here with the first race of the season here in Australia. What a great season it was last. We saw George take the World Drivers' Championship, and we also saw George and Peter take the Constructors' Championship together, people. It's all or nothing here. We'll see how this goes. But today I am joined here once again by the returning Ritvik.
Hello, how are you doing, Dan?
I'm very well. How are you?
I'm good. It's good to be back. Yeah, I've caught myself up on what happened last season, and based on that, I think we can expect some more great racing this season. See if George can defend, obviously now in a Williams,
Oh,
but yeah, we'll see what he can do.
of course. And we do have Preston. Of course, he was on commentary last season. He is back on track with, of course, Jamie, your old teammate in the Red Bull.
Yeah, that'll be a great pairing. Let's see if Jamie's stepped up from his last couple of seasons. I know when I last, I think it was my second season in it. We had a pretty good time out there, but we'll see if he can keep that up. And yeah, it'll be nice to see Preston back on track. How was it commentating with him last season?
It was very good actually. He was brilliant at it. He gave it a real go, and he was brilliant at it. To be honest, everyone has a different touch to it. And I think that is what great about having different people on commentary. Is you're not stuck with my excitement and my over enthusiasm all the time. Sometimes you've got the calm people. Sometimes you've got the overexcited people.
Yeah. Probably what makes a nice good combo in the commentary box. Um, but yeah, I mean, so starting off the season with a street track, a fast paced one at that, with Australia, a couple of tricky corners in the last sector as well. We'll have to see. But what do you think they're running? Do we think probably a bit of a pointy car here? No, you want to get a lot of high speed down these sort of straights.
Very true. I mean, you know more about setups than I do. I'm a guy that never does any setups on the game unless I need to. To be honest, I just go on TikTok and steal them. So I wouldn't be able to answer that question for you, to be honest. But we do very quickly have 4 out of our 7 drivers here today. Of course, Preston in the Red Bull. We also have good old Harry in the Ferrari. We have Evan in the Williams alongside George, who is also in the Williams. Peter is not racing this season. And we do have Jamie in Red Bull, of course, alongside Preston. And Neo in Mahas. Unfortunately, both of them could not be here today. But we saw the pace of most of them in pre-season testing. Of course, one person we did not see in pre-season testing is Charlie. He's still not here, so we still don't know what to expect from him this season, to be honest. But we shall see. But what I will say to you now, George has gone into the barrier. I don't know really what happened there, unlucky for him. But what I'll put to you now, Ritvik, of course, we have the Season 1 World Drivers Champion here in Preston Racing this season. The Season 3 World Drivers Champion in Charlie Racing this season. Of course, he's not here today, but still he's racing this season. And the Season 4 World Drivers Champion in George Racing this season. Do you think either of those three will pick up the inaugural second World Drivers Championship? Or will it be a new champion this season?
Uh, I think I think it's anybody's game, to be honest with you. I mean, obviously those three having already won titles before, they'll they've already been there in that situation, having to put consistency in to keep racing for those points when you're sort of leading, the race to the title, if you will. You've got a lot of pressure on you to perform in every single race, get in the points, get in the high points. And when all of your competitors are not only competing at an incredibly high level, but also at a level where they've already won championships like the other two, you'd have to back them to try and get their second. But also you have the people who haven't won it yet, who have that hunger, who have that desire to win one, say, to prove to not only everyone else but themselves also that they are capable of doing this and they want to show their skill. So I think it's anybody's game. Obviously, the experience plays a hand, but we'll have to see how it plays out. They'll have to play to their strengths. But
Very,
yeah, we'll see how it goes.
very true, very true. Of course, you also have to take in the factor. I'll just probably quickly mention, by the way. Currently, you have Evan sitting in P3 with a 119.85 for a good first qualifying session from currently for his first time in the ROR Championship. I'm not sure whether you heard about the rebrand, but we are now called the ROR. I will tell you a bit more about it in a minute. But Preston, of course, sits it in P2 with a 119.204, and Harry sticks it on provisional pole position with a 119.092. So Harry showing that he is here for a fight this season. He didn't win last season at all, not one race, unfortunately. So he's out. He's hungry for it this season. And we'll see what happens, whether he can pick up a win this season or not. It's going to be very interesting to say the least. What I will quickly say, however, is you will see me on the track there, P14 currently, P15 going down the list. I'm not actually racing this season. Basically, the way the new game works, they've introduced an app. For some reason, when an owner says, "Oh yeah, I'm going to be competitive," he can't. He's apparently going to be a driver, definitely. And when the owner says, "Oh, I'm not going to be competitive," he can't access the lobby. So it's one or the other. Anyway, what I was going to say before I moved on to that was simply put, this is a new game. A new way to drive. Basically, the reaction speed on controllers, on just the wheel, is much faster. It's much easier to turn. But it's just a new sort of... I don't know what the word, but I think you're getting what I mean. It's completely different to last game. So that you also have to factor in that. Who's going to be better on the last game? Who's going to be better on this game?
Yeah, I think the word you're looking for is mechanics here. The mechanics in this game are obviously not just this game, but other games. Every game differs from the one before, and the mechanics and the way that the cars sort of slide and drive and feel, they'll change. They'll be different. As Harry puts in an even faster lap of 1:18.5, 7/10 up on Preston's current time, who is on an outlap, I believe, charging up for his fast lap. But yeah, the mechanics and the way you drive on this game will be different to the previous game, and so it is, as you say, also partly down to who can adapt better. Obviously, the sooner you adapt, the better and the more confident you'll feel on the acceleration and on the car itself, and then you can sort of tweak your setup here and there and enhance the most performance. And those who can't adapt, well, they'll be left in the dust. So we'll have to see.
Very true, very true. We'll have to see what happens. But now George goes round the final corner onto the straight. What will he set him? Will it be a provisional pole position here for George today? No, he sticks at 119.178. 6/10 slower than Harry. I think this has got to be the first time ever on a dry track we have not seen George on pole position.
Wow, just right. It goes to show how good that lap is from Harry. He's still good 6/10 off of what was a good lap that was put in from George, and we'd seen him set that purple sector 1 before, and then George comes in with his own lap and wasn't able to match it, quite a way off the pace. We'll have to see what these Williams can do in Preston. Don't count him out as well as he's coming down the track. We'll see what he can get.
Very true, very true. I mean, he's set a purple sector 1 here, so he's already looking quite fast. Whether he can keep up that pace between the sector 2 and sector 3 will be very interesting to see. I mean, he's coming to the end of sector 2 now, so this will shed a lot of light on how this is going to go.
Yeah, we'll see. He's set the purple sector 2, so he's flying right now. We'll have to see if he can keep it together for sector 3 within track limits as well. The last corner bears a lot of weight on your final sector time, because you need to get that braking point and hit the apex right. And it's so easy to slip and lose grip, lose rear grip specifically on that last corner. So we'll see how he fares. And he's done really well as he's coming around this last corner onto the straight. That should be provisional pole. That looked to be a great lap, was it? No.
1/10.
Wow. I'm not sure. I thought the graphic said all three of those sectors are purple. But
I thought as well. I was looking at it. I was like, they were definitely purple sectors, but apparently he's not. He's not quicker than Harry. What is going on? We haven't seen Harry on provisional pole. Sorry, I keep interrupting you, but we haven't seen Harry on provisional pole in ages.
yeah, I mean the margins are very thin, 1/10, and I reckon there's 1/10 that he could have found in that lap as well as we were watching him. But yeah, I'm not quite sure. I mean, it definitely said purple sector 1 and 2, and then he crossed the line. It says only a 1:18.6, but still he set a purple sector 3, which would mean all three of his sectors are purple, and yet he wasn't on pole. But you know,
Who knows? Who knows? But what I will inform you of now is each of the guys this season has selected their numbers, so we can just address them easier, or potential penalties that might come in. We can address them easier. So of course Evan is number 43. I'm not sure if you really care about this, but I'll list them off for the viewers at least, and you. Evan will be number 43. Neo is number 5. Jamie is number 3. Preston is number 99. George is number 80. And Charlie 21, and Harry number 15. From what I'm seeing, we're actually sticking to those numbers currently, but we'll see what happens. But do you know much about the rebrand at all? Quickly.
no, I've seen that it's been changed from the DC F1 League to ROR, but I mean, what does ROR stand for?
Unfortunately, I can't reveal that on footage. It's not bad or anything. It's just cringe. You will all find out when the website releases. Because yes, we're getting a website, and the only reason we've gone for rebrand is because Charlie, my editor, and dear friend, I thought I'd put that in as well. Don't want it to seem like I'm just, making him sound like just my editor. Because I, realise how bad that sounds. Yeah, he owns the domain for what actually stands for ROR.
Okay.
So the name will of course be on that website, but when we get that website, we'll actually be able to have a website because he already owns the domain. I will tell you after recording, and you will laugh at it. I promise.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I've heard about this rebrand. I've seen it change to ROR. I've seen all the branding looks, the little logo. It looks good. It's looking good. Yeah, I mean, do the drivers seem to like the change?
I think so. To be honest, it also every 3 weeks there'll be a bonus race on a Saturday, which is optional for the drivers to turn up to. But it's just there, to bring some fun to the series as well. Have like some silly rules like 4 wets on dry, or just reversing maybe. Just silly rules. That even I
Yeah.
can partake in it. And Neo's joined. Will he be able to get in, actually? That's the question. Harry says a 118.272. Wow!
Wow, that is a fast app. But I mean, I'm not sure. I think the graphic might have been wrong, or we might have been missing something here. Because although Harry's gone fastest here, Preston's previous lap that we have now said was 3 purple sectors, and what a lap from George, putting in a 1:17.9, 3/10 up on Harry's time that was hardly even being touched before. That has come out of nowhere.
That is very true. It's impeccable, isn't it? He's showing that he is here to win again this season. He's not backing down. He wants to win again.
Yeah, definitely. He is in the running. But yeah, this is, as I was saying, that previous lap from Preston, who was on for a provisional pole. I think he might come out well. He should do. He probably will come out for another lap. One final fast lap. Harry, who's already been in the front running for this whole session, basically, and now George was just stuck it on provisional pole with an absolute beamer of a lap. It's going to be really tight between these three, looks like.
Very true, but I'm not sure if you kind of watched last season. But if you did, it was kind of like almost quite not very close between the times, if you get what I mean. George was kind of storming a bit ahead, and it was kind of unmatched. Now they're only 3/10 apart, really.
Yeah, it's looking like a really tight contest from what I can see in today's season at least. Obviously, today's races at least. Sorry, obviously treat each season independently, but they do definitely have factor on each other. If somebody's done really well one season, you can definitely expect them to do really well in the next. But the fact that they are only 3-4 tenths apart in a qualifying where they are just getting back into the grips with the new game and they are just getting back into grips with racing, is not exactly a very big margin. So we'll have to see, and especially because they're going to be bunched up right at the beginning of the race, we'll have to see who can come out on top.
Very, very true. It's going to be very interesting. Especially the start, as you say. It'll be a very interesting thing to witness, shall we say. I love how my AI hasn't actually come out yet. I don't think it's going to come out at all. I think it's literally going to stay in bits. I'm kind of actually honestly wondering whether it's actually going to move come the start of a race.
Oh god, if it even comes out on track at that point, it's going to be a yellow flag straight away, safety car permanently.
I know. Every single start to race is just a yellow flag because my AI won't move. But Evan sets now a 119.763, improves on his time just that little bit, showing that potentially he's trying to improve on his time, and he wants to be up there with the guys, and he's faster than the AIs, so that's quite good. I mean, obviously, he's not as fast as the guys right now, but I think you can agree, especially witnessing Jamie over 4 seasons. Jamie has had mad improvement over 4 seasons, so I don't see why others can't.
Oh, definitely. I mean, I've seen how he's improved, especially that big jump from season 1 to 2. I think season 1 was for at least, I know for myself it definitely was, and I hope I'm right in saying that for Jamie as well. Switching from 1 to 2, season 1 to 2 was a big transition period, just learning the kinks of when to challenge, when to not, when to back out of an attack, when to preserve energy, all of the ins and outs. Which we did come in prepared for in season 1, but when you're actually doing it in the fast-paced race, you just never know. But season 2, he's improved massively. So, and he has improved, as you said, across the seasons through 3, 4, and 5. Hopefully now in 5, we can see the best of him. And yeah, as you said, if he can, then why can't the others? So we'll have to see who really wants it the most.
Very true, very true. But we are at the end of qualifying now. Preston and Evan have finished their qualifying laps. We shall see how this is going to go between Harry and George. Will Harry be able to improve his time? That's a purple sector 2 right there. But of course, as we know with Preston, purple sectors don't actually mean you're the fastest for some reason.
Yeah, but he looks to be flying. And as he's approaching sector 3, here we go. Yeah, he set a purple sector 2. I didn't quite check to see if he set a purple sector 1, but he seems to be going rapid as he's approaching the last corner. Is he going to contest George's time? Is he going to get pole position? The best possible... Ooh. Wow. It was a very good lap. Just not enough. 1/10 down. My word.
Which means I can officially confirm that your pole sitter for tomorrow will be George as he comes around the final corner. Will he improve his time? He changed it to a 117.548. That is just incredible.
Wow. Well, just as Harry was inches away from his, milliseconds away from his time, he's gone and put in another lap 5/10 faster. That is huge.
Very true, very true. But here is your result for today. A little small one. This is Evan in P4, Preston in P3, Harry in P2, and George in P1. We will see you both tomorrow for the Australian Grand Prix. Do not go anywhere. Do not be late tomorrow. Releasing course at 1 PM. We will see you guys tomorrow. Goodbye.